spent 7 years helping entrepreneurs grow businesses in 18 cities around the country between 2011 and 2017. That was actually my job. My job was to be the job creator guy. And so when you go out to these places, you see that the dynamism is getting sucked up by certain markets to a level that's unprecedented in our history. Like that the disparities between Cleveland and San Francisco or St. Louis and LA are much, much higher than they've been at any other historical period, both by the numbers and like after you actually go to the places, you're like, wow, like this is not flourishing the way that you'd hope.
Do you feel like an economic Paul Revere in a certain sense? Like the robots are coming, the robots are coming.
I do. It's weird, man. Well, the comparison I make is that if the United States economy is like an elephant, you know the parable of like the people, like, you know, blind people, you know, touching the elephant. So I'm an entrepreneur. I sold a company to a public company that was a national education company. It was based in New York.
Wait, what is the parable of blind people touching an elephant?
So what happens is they're like 7 blind men, and they get asked like, what does an elephant look like? And then one of them's touching the trunk and is like, an elephant looks like a snake. And another one's touching its leg and it's like, an elephant looks like a tree trunk. So that's the way most people experience the economy, is that they're like touching a part of the economy and they're like, this is what it looks like or feels like. So I've had this really strange set of experiences where I sold a national education company to a public company. I lived bi-coastally between New York and San Francisco for the last 5 years. I've operated in 18 cities around the country. I was an appointee in the Obama administration in DC. So I've actually seen the elephant, if you know what I mean. Like
a whole elephant.
Yeah, like I'm like hanging out with the tech wizards of Silicon Valley, and I'm like, hey, you know, we're gonna automate these jobs away, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna automate these jobs. You know, like it's, you know, so it's not a mystery, and they're not bad people. It's like, hey, it's my job to like make stuff work better, and if you gave me a choice between making things work better and creating abundant opportunities for the other people, I would choose that. But I do not have that choice. I have a job to do. You know, this is my job. And what I tell people is like, whose responsibility then is it to go tell the people, look, it's technology, it's transforming the economy in fundamental ways, and we need to make it so that everyone benefits, and it's not just that this like hyper concentrated set of winners and then this like huge army of relative losers, and it's the government's job. But at this point, we've given up on our government as anything, like it can't really do anything, and so now it's no one's job. And so somehow, Joe, it has become my job, and it blows my mind too sometimes.
Now, coming from a place of being a serial entrepreneur,